Good morning, everybody, and thanks for waking up with us. Rob Evans alongside Laura Monteverde and Marielle Ruiz on this Friday, May 31st.
A developing story this morning. A levee in Halibut National Wildlife Refuge has breached. It happened early this morning.
Just yesterday, Yell County Emergency Management sent out an alert to people living near the area because the levee on Highway 155 was leaking.
And we talked with the Arkansas Department of Emergency Management this morning, who says the water will take about 15 hours before it reaches Dardanelle.
We are going to have more on this story as it continues to develop. The department also told us there's no immediate danger right now. Yeah. And good news is I think a lot of those people were already told to evacuate.
Yeah.
So most of them, hopefully all of them, heeded that warning and got out of there.
Yeah, and don't worry about the animals that are in that area. They know what to do. It's natural for them. It's nature, and they'll be fine as well.
Yeah. You know, so many people affected by this flooding and so many people to be affected by this flooding, but it's great to see Arkansans jumping in and helping where needed.
High school
really
teams, we've got some stories coming up later about football teams and basketball teams going out and helping the communities, and we appreciate them.
Yeah, we're going to need that help because this is an event that is going to last for some time. Whenever we're talking about flooding, it takes a while, especially with river flooding, for the river to crest. Not only that, but afterwards, cleanup efforts take a really long time too. Here's something new this morning. As of this morning, Little Rock now at major flood stage. Major flood stage meaning about 27 feet for the Arkansas River at Little Rock specifically. We are just over 27 feet now. Still expected to climb another 2 feet by the time Tuesday comes, and that's when the forecast crest is. Both considered major flood stage, not record breaking, but still major flood stage, not just there, but also at Pine Bluff, Pendleton, not too far off from it. It'll be a new record by the time it does crest at 36. Another area that continues to rise, Toadsuck, still expected to climb between now and Sunday. The silver lining being that we're not seeing rain here, not today, not tomorrow. So we still have time to prepare. We have time to take action at this point at the locations that need to be taken action at. We'll talk a little bit more about the rest of the forecast later on.
In other news this morning, the Mueller investigation may be over, but the fight over its conclusions may be just getting started. CBS's Laura Podesta has this story.
President Trump is again lashing out at former special counsel Robert Mueller.
He is a total conflicted person. I think Mueller is a true never-Trumper. He's somebody that dislikes Donald Trump.
The president resumed his attacks a day after Mueller resigned from the Justice Department. Before departing, Mueller reiterated his written report's findings about obstruction of justice.
If we had had confidence that the president clearly did not commit a crime, we would have said so.
In an exclusive interview with CBS this morning, Attorney General William Barr told Jan Crawford he was surprised Mueller didn't make a decision.
In your view, he could have reached a conclusion.
Right, he could have reached a conclusion. The opinion says you cannot indict a president while he's in office, but he could have reached a decision as to whether it was criminal activity, but he had his reasons for not doing it, which he explained.
Congressman Adam Schiff, the chair of the House Intelligence Committee, has called for Barr's resignation.
It is Bill Barr's view that the president could have shut down the Mueller investigation anytime he wanted because he thought it unfair. That is a prescription for a president who is utterly above the law.
Schiff said he's undecided about whether the president should be impeached. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
The rest of Jan Crawford's interview with Attorney General William Barr will be shown today on CBS This Morning.
President Donald Trump has announced he's placing a 5% tariff on all Mexican imports effective June the 10th. The president said the percentage will gradually go up to 25%, quote, until the illegal immigration problem is remedied, end quote. Now, the decision showed the administration going to new length, looking for new levers to pressure Mexico to take action.
Louisiana's governor has signed a ban on abortion as early as 6 weeks of pregnancy, a move that has provoked anger from members of his Democratic Party. Governor John Bel Edwards signed the measure, making Louisiana the 5th state to enact such a law, joining Mississippi, Kentucky, Ohio, and Georgia. The new law will outlaw abortion when a fetal heartbeat is detected. The law does not contain exceptions for pregnancies from rape or incest.
A federal appeals court has asked how a decision upholding Indiana's law requiring burial or cremation of fetal remains after an abortion affects an Arkansas case on abortion restrictions. The 8th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals ordered attorneys to file additional briefs on what impact, if any, this week's U.S. Supreme Court ruling on Indiana's law has on the Arkansas case. A federal judge in 2017 blocked an Arkansas fetal remains law and 3 other abortion restrictions, and the appeals court is considering the state's challenge of that decision. In Indiana, the U.S. Supreme Court denied review of a lower court ruling that blocked a ban on abortion based on gender, race, or disability.
Natural State Medicinal's Cultivation's first medical marijuana product is available to customers today. It's happening at Doctor's Orders RX in Hot Springs. The product was manufactured at NSM's facility located in Whitehall. Currently, 9 strains of the product are accessible, but more than 20 different types will be ready for delivery in the coming weeks.
4 more applications have been submitted to operate casinos in Arkansas. The state received applications for a Pope County casino from the Cherokee Nation, Tri-Peaks Entertainment Group LLC, and the Choctaw Nation. The state had previously received an application from Gulfside Casino Partnership. Only 1 application has been submitted for Jefferson County from the Downstream Development Authority. The Racing Commission will consider the applications June 13th.
FedEx plans to deliver packages 7 days a week starting next January as it tries to keep up with the continuing boom in online shopping. The company's also taking back nearly 2 million daily deliveries to homes that are currently handled by the post office. Shifting SmartPost packages back to its own network will give drivers more deliveries bunched closer together and increase efficiency. FedEx already runs 7 days a week around Christmas. It's taken that schedule year-round for most of the U.S. population.
So time now 5:38. We're taking a look at traffic this morning, and what we're seeing are green and good conditions across the interstates, not seeing issues across the Little Rock Metro. And what we are seeing, though, are more and more road closures, and it's really easy to see on ways and on iDrive. So if you are headed anywhere, maybe you're headed out of town, especially if you're traveling westbound, you want to make sure to check those locations. And there is a look at ways. You can see some of the red spots. That's indicating closed off areas, and that's including some of the parks there along the river in Little Rock and North Little Rock. So definitely keep that in mind. You want to stay away as far as you can from that flood water. We are taking a look now along Interstate 630. This is not looking too bad. Arkansas State Police will be on Highway 10 and Reservoir Road. Little Rock will be on Pebble Beach Drive. North Little Rock on Monmouth Boulevard, and Faulkner County will be on Easterwood Point Road. Those are your safe speed locations for today. Rob?
Marielle, thank you. THV11 kicked off the 19th annual Summer Cereal Drive with our first ever Pack the Shack, and it was a huge success. We received 11,040 boxes, and we invited local businesses and THV11 viewers to drop off cereal boxes here at the studio. And now it's time for THV11 to hit your town. We're going to be everywhere from Hot Springs to Pine Bluff to Cabot throughout the month of June. Visit THV11.com for a full list of cereal drive stops near you. 11,040 boxes, thanks to everybody.
Yeah, that is a huge amount. Okay, so some people call them lightning bugs, others prefer the term fireflies, but in 2019, the population is bouncing back following drought and wildfires in 2016. Plus,
8 spellers better than anything the Scripps National Spelling Bee could throw at them, and they all ended up with a hand on the trophy.
And we're also watching the skies and our river levels. An update on that coming up next.
Welcome back, everybody. It is 5:41 right now, according to my watch. Hopefully that matches up with yours. It does, and things are looking really nice. They feel nice, much less humid than they were in the last couple days.
And even a little cooler because of that humidity, right?
I like
or less humidity,
nice.
lack thereof. Yeah, it's because of the cold front yesterday. Yes, we had to deal with some rain, but it did help bring in some slightly cooler and drier air, and that's the reason we saw the sunshine yesterday, was because that dry air was working its way into the state. This is what we're looking at in terms of river levels. Again, Little Rock, as of this morning, now at major flood stage. range. 27 feet is what's considered major. Still expected to climb another 2 feet. And we've got Raven Richard and Jordan Howington out looking at river levels for us this morning. Current temperature of about 63 degrees in Little Rock. Yes, that is cooler than yesterday, and because of the lack of humidity, it feels much more comfortable out there this morning. Kind of similar to last night. It did feel a bit more comfortable. Easier to breathe out there when we're not dealing with so much moisture. Some locations, not the case. Areas like Camden still seeing a lot of saturation on the ground. So whenever temperatures cool down overnight, you get that fog that forms, and that's exactly what's happening there. Down to 1.25 miles visibility in Camden, 7 in Mena, perfect 10 across Little Rock, Hot Springs, Searcy, Stuttgart, and in Pine Bluff. Today, temperature makes it all the way to 86 degrees. That's about 3 degrees warmer than yesterday. We'll see the sunshine all day long, and what we are going to see as well is the lighter wind. Around Arkansas today, we are going to see the 80s, but 90s tomorrow. Temperatures are expected to climb here for Saturday and really stay similar for Sunday as well across the entire state. Mountain Home staying in the 80s today and tomorrow, but seeing that temperature climb here over the next 24 hours. Clear skies overhead. We are seeing just a burst of rain across areas of North Texas. That's as that high pressure continues to sink towards Arkansas. That front that did bring in that dry air is now pushed towards the south and east of us and taken with it the rain potential. And what's happening over the next 48 hours, the reason we're not going to see any rain and it's going to warm up is because that high pressure moves over south central United States, and that's the reason we're going to see that consistent heat. The threat for severe weather is going to stay away from us as that that trough there stays across the western half of the country, and that'll continue there for the next couple of days before that starts to budge more towards the east. So the severe weather outlook for your Friday, non-existent for the state of Arkansas, staying in the clear for Oklahoma, Kansas, and Missouri until tomorrow. Most of that activity stays north and northwest of us, so no need to worry there. And on Sunday, the activity stays to the west of us. We do see that rain return, though, Sunday into Monday. But for today, not seeing any issues out there as far as our skies go. We'll see the blue sky. Temperature makes it to about 86 in Little Rock, 82 in Conway around 12:30. And what we are going to see is that wind eventually shift towards out of the southwest. Whenever we see that, that's when the humidity comes back. But that's not going to happen throughout the morning today. It'll stay pretty comfortable feeling out there. 88 degrees in Hot Springs, 86 for the afternoon high in Russellville, 91 for Camden, El Dorado this afternoon. What we're also seeing is as we look ahead beyond the extended forecast, we're seeing above average temperatures likely for the state of Arkansas. Not only that, but look at where the green is centered, that green, the darkest, right over the natural state. And what that means is that we're going to be dealing with above average rainfall over the next several weeks. Unfortunately, not something we want to hear when we are dealing with high river levels on top of already seeing such a wet first half of the year.
Some good news if you're heading to East Tennessee anytime soon. The lightning bug population is bouncing back. It comes after the number plummeted from devastating drought and wildfires in 2016.
Some people call them lightning bugs. Others prefer the term fireflies. When the insects merge to mate, the daily weather impacts their behavior.
An expert said the unseasonably warm weather leads to an exciting show that may be short-lived. The National Park Service determines when to schedule the annual synchronized firefly viewing event.
Because the park must schedule the event several weeks in advance, getting the dates to match up with the peak is always a bit of a gamble.
I used to love those as kids, catching them in little basin jars as a kid. And
I actually saw a few last night.
Yeah?
Yeah, the first ones of the season I saw them, and it brought the biggest smile to my face. It's so fun just seeing them roaming around, especially when it starts to get dark out. You just know it's summertime.
The honeysuckle smell and the lightning bugs, the combination of the two. You know the saying, everyone's a winner, right? That was actually the case at last night's Scripps National Spelling Bee. 8 finalists came out on top.
Oh, this is the first group to share the coveted title in the event's nearly century-long history. By the Bees' 17th round, judges told the super spellers they were running out of words that would challenge them.
And they decided the competition would continue for just 3 more rounds.
The co-champions, who range in age from 12 to 14, will not have to split up their winnings.
Each of you will be getting a Scripps Cup and, of course, the full $50,000 prize, cash prize.
That is awesome. They've also got trips to New York and Hollywood to appear on talk shows in the coming weeks. Hope they have enough microphones for that. From 2014 to 2016, the B ended with co-champions.
One of the last night's winners said a possible solution for future Bs is adding a definition question in addition to spelling. So not only do you have to know how to spell the word, you have to know what it means.
And maybe in the foreign language too, should do that, and that would be like step 3.
Oh man, yeah, these kids are just getting better and better every year.
They're too smart. Laura, over to you.
Well, you may have heard of John 3:16, but have you ever heard of John 3:17? The faith-based ministry is a 12-month recovery program for women. We have Jonna Lawrence and Madison Shelton here with more on this incredible organization, and you both are graduates of John 3:17. Yes. So tell us a little bit about it if you're not familiar.
Well, it is a year-long faith-based ministry for women who struggle with addiction, non-smoking. It's located in Newport, Arkansas.
In Newport, Arkansas. So this program, I assume you both are graduates, now giving a year time back as facilitators. This program has changed your life drastically.
Most definitely.
Yeah, and there's John 3:16, which is for the men. John 3:17 is just for women?
Yes.
Okay, so if people are interested in the program, maybe thinking of this program for yourself or your family member, how can you get involved?
Well, we have a website, john317ministry.org. You can go there and fill out an application, and it will be forwarded to our director, assistant director, Suzanne. And then you call her, and then she'll follow up with you, and then you come in for an interview. And we do interviews on Sundays. Okay. And so if you're accepted, you will just come in that day and be a resident.
Wonderful. So you guys are examples that you can change your life around. I know this is a huge passion for us here, is addiction recovery. Let's hear a little bit about this event coming up that you all have tonight, correct?
Correct. Tonight we're having the Summer of Hope fundraiser at the Benton Event Center. The doors are open at 4:30, and John 3:16 will be catering the catfish dinner, which will start at 5:30. And we'll have a silent auction with lots of great things. We'll have, I'm actually giving my testimony tonight, and then we have lots of groups singing from our girls at John 3:17, a past graduate singing, and some of the residents in the program will be singing some solos as well. And we'll have a lot of elected officials speaking, and we'll have a drawing for a gourmet guru grill at the very end of it.
All right, so it sounds like a fun time. Tickets are still available for tonight. How can you get those?
We'll be selling them at the door. They're $10.
Okay, again, time and place, just in case you missed it.
It's 4:30 at the Benton Event Center.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, ladies, for coming in. We appreciate you telling us a little bit more about John 3:17. We are back right after this here on THV11 this morning. Having so much fun with all these kitties on the show. Welcome back. It is Friday, and that means it's time to introduce you to our pet of the week from the Little Rock Animal Village. We have 3 sweet kitties. Are they up for adoption right now?
They are available now.
They are. Look at that face. Can you say no to that?
No.
I don't think so. Betsy says no. Betsy Robb here from Friends of the Animal Village. Tell us about these 3. Are they from the same litter?
They are. It's not uncommon to see cats that look completely different in the same litter. Sometimes that's because of multiple daddies. We don't always know.
we don't know. We don't ask questions.
Right. We just take care of them and try to find them homes.
How old are these guys?
They're about 2 months old. They were brought to the Animal Village about a month ago. They have been in a foster home since then. So they're used to home life, and they're litter box trained and all that good stuff, and they are super sweet and friendly.
Okay, usually we have these, when we have kittens, we have them jumping off the table, and these 3 are so calm right now. I think they're just enjoying the back scratches this morning. So do they have names, Betsy?
They do not.
Oh, there you go.
I usually name them when I'm bringing on someone who doesn't have a name yet, but I figured this time maybe we'll let our Facebook friends nominate
this would
names.
be great. I think that's great. So you're going to post the pictures on Facebook later. I think Reese's is this one. Oh, don't go anywhere.
I like that.
Not yet. Okay, maybe they are a little more playful than I imagined.
We have 2 girls and 1 boy.
Now, do cats this young, kittens this young, come microchipped as well?
They do.
Okay, perfect. Right. So if they want to explore, you know what, they're microchipped, so they'll have all your information in
That's
there.
right. Every pet now from the Animal Village is microchipped.
This is wonderful. Any other events coming up or volunteer opportunities?
No, well, we'll be out at the Chanel Promenade tomorrow. There's a Love Your Pet event out there.
Yeah.
But I wanted to let
It's
you
a
guys
dog
know.
washing event.
It is, that's right. There are a lot of kittens at the Lorac Animal Village right now. They transported 21 cats yesterday, and the kennels were full again by the afternoon.
Okay, so we need to get these cats adopted, these dogs adopted. The Animal Village opens today at what time?
8 o'clock. Adoptions start at 10. They're open till 5.
Okay, we're going to post these kitties on Facebook, and you get to name them. We are going to send things off to sports now while I look at these.
And now, the THV11 Sports Desk, driven by Crane Hyundai of Conway.
In any game, it's important to get off to a good start, but if we don't, we just need to stay calm and put together some good at-bats and score when we get an opportunity.
The formula is very simple for Arkansas. 5 wins in the next 2 weeks, and they will be heading back to Omaha for the 2nd straight year. First, though, to the task at hand, Razorbacks taking on Central Connecticut State this afternoon. Now, the biggest concern has to be the hitting at this point. Arkansas has lost 4 of 5 heading into this regional, scoring just 2 runs a game. Here's the good news. The Hogs hit very well at home. They're 28-6 at Baum Walker this season. Hogs feel very confident the R&R has done them well.
We went through a little slump after we were one of the best offensive teams in the nation for a couple weeks there. And so then we went through a little slump to where we weren't hitting the long ball as much, and then we didn't know how to get back in the groove. But that happens in baseball.
So it's not really like we were struggling too much as we're playing really good teams with good pitching staffs, and just kind of, went through a little bit of a struggle there.
On the mound, we found out a couple of nights ago it will be the freshman Connor Nolan. Now, Nolan's 2-4 record isn't impressive, but his 3.71 ERA is. Now, he may be inexperienced, but not really if you look at the numbers. Nolan, 68 innings this season. That is second on the team behind Isaiah Campbell.
Well, if we didn't think he could handle it, we wouldn't stick him out there. I think he can handle anything. He's pitched in front of 10 and 12,000 here against SEC teams and big games to sweep people or win a weekend series. And I think it's just another game to Connor as far as his mentality and his makeup.
I don't think I'll be nervous. Just excited to get out there and play. I mean, it's just another game, and like we said, just preparing the same way and treat it the same way as another game.
Again, first pitch, 1 o'clock this afternoon. It is online at ESPN3. Nolan getting the start on the bump. I will be live from Baum Walker Stadium with reaction from the ball game right here on THV11. Well, you had an unexpected announcement from the Razorback football team last night. The Hogs adding a former head coach to their staff. Chad Morris announcing the addition of Turner Gill as the executive director of student athlete and staff development. Gill, a former head coach at Buffalo and Kansas, plus won a national championship as the QB of the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Finally, we found out some game times for the Razorback football team. Portland State on August 31st at 3 o'clock, followed by Ole Miss the next week at 6:30, and back to Fayetteville with Colorado State. That one also at 3 o'clock, and all of those games will be on the SEC Network. And you can find all that information plus full sound with Dave Van Horn and the Diamond Hogs on our website, THV11.com.
Hey, good morning, guys. So right now, this area was of concern, but you can see right now they've got the sandbags down. So this is State Highway 7, one of the main entrances here to Dardanelle. But you can see on both sides, they do have those sandbags up. There is a little bit of water, and one lane on each side is closed off. Now, I did see this yesterday, and it does look like they're trying to do some type of control for this. So if you do have to come down this way, you want to use caution. And also, you can take a look at all the water off to the side. This is where it's all coming from. And with that, it's only going to just get worse. But you can see some signs already down. There's a fireworks shop right there in the background that's in the water as well. So we'll continue to check on the conditions out here. For now, we're going to send things to Toadsuck with Jordan.
Yeah, Raven. Yeah, out here at Toadsuck, or the Arkansas River at Toadsuck, where those floodwaters have now reached a record flood stage, and they continue to rise. The river's not expected to crest until Sunday. Now, a state trooper was out here earlier telling us a little bit about how much this water has risen just over the night. If you could take a look behind me, he said over here at the Corps of Engineers building, this fence right here, last night when he was looking over here, the water had not made it up to the sign right there. And now, as you can see, early this morning, the water has made it up to the sign. The water is overtopping the dam here at Toadsuck. So again, the river not expected to crest until Sunday. So those rising floodwaters continue here at Toadsuck. One thing I would like to mention is authorities are asking people who are coming by to take pictures of this historic flooding to stay back because the waters are very dangerous. All right, Mary.
Jordan, we appreciate you being out there taking a look, giving us a visual for these numbers, because it is hard whenever we're talking about numbers and we don't have a picture. So really easy to clear. You heard Jordan there at Toadsuck saying that the water is overtopping. Basically what that means is that you have this wall and the river is going over it at this point, and that's what is basically going to continue to happen here in the next couple of days. The water overtopping means that number is not changing very much. It stayed pretty consistent at 284, but still expected to climb another foot or so here in the next day. Both record, Morrilton, Dardanelle, all at record heights here already, and all of them still expected to climb at least a little in the next couple of days. Areas like the Arkansas along Little Rock, that as of this morning has reached major flood stage, major being 27 feet. That will still climb 2 feet in the next few days. It'll crest on Tuesday. Pine Bluff at major flood stage as well. Pendleton still at moderate flood stage, but that water is working its way downstream towards Pendleton, and Pendleton will eventually see record-breaking heights at 36. That is the forecast for Pendleton, and these are just numbers that we have to keep watching as these numbers continue to go up. Now, there are a couple of changes from yesterday. Areas of Pine Bluff, yesterday's forecast was 49, but we are now expecting it to crest at 51. That's 2 additional feet, and that is, again, something that we're watching here in the next few days. This is a long event. It has taken a long time to get to this point, and it will take a long time for the water to go back to its original state. We're thinking at least the end of June, unless additional rainfall causes an issue. We'll talk a little bit more about your weekend forecast coming up later on.
Well, as Raven mentioned a moment ago, flooding is already a problem in Dardanelle, and the river in that area won't crest now until Sunday. That's why the Arkansas National Guard has a team on standby to help homeowners prepare for the flood. Guardsmen tell us part of those flooding preparations include making sure there's an evacuation plan in order.
We do drive around the community and making sure that there's no blocked roadways. So in order for being prepared, we'll have different avenues of approach to get to those people that need us, or alternate locations.
If you do live in an area that floods easily, city officials say you should leave now before the water gets to your house.
Floodwaters that rushed into parts of Mayflower at the start of the week now have reached levees about a mile from the riverbank. It means more and more homeowners and businesses have to come up with plans with the water now at their back door. One family farm is using a boat to commute to work. The sewage plant next door is also close to getting swamped, creating an even bigger mess. But for those people away from the banks, they are still looking on the bright side.
So we're really fortunate, because I know a lot of people that have water in their homes and stuff like that. So we're lucky.
Easterwood Point Road is cut off from Highway 89. The road to Lolly past Mayflower is also now closed by the Faulkner County Sheriff. While the river will not reach record levels in Little Rock, major flooding is still expected. City leaders briefed the public ahead of next week's crest. River Mountain Drive and Rebsamen Park Road are already closed near the golf course, which is partially underwater. This morning, work on a levee will close Riverfront Drive from Cottondale Drive to Rebsamen Park Road. The mayor stresses Little Rock residents to stay informed and prepared ahead of next week's crest.
Seen far too many times individuals who want to test the flood waters, where not only their vehicles are being put in danger, they're being put in danger, and most importantly, the people who wake up every day to protect and serve each of us, their lives are being put in danger by individuals who are testing the waters, where just to really see different things, and we need to make certain that ceases today.
The Little Rock Public Works Department is distributing sandbags at its facility on J.E. Davis Drive from 6:30 to 4 o'clock today. People can also fill their own bags 24 hours a day at War Memorial Park.
The 11 Listens Flood Zone has you covered with all your questions about the current state of disaster areas. People evacuating from their homes will have a lot to do when they come back. So what should they do? Make sure to contact your insurance company to straighten out coverage policies dealing with electricity issues and to access overall damage to your property. There's a lot of hazardous material and bacteria in floodwaters that could damage your homes and threaten your health. Experts say one thing many people don't think about is mold damage. The CDC has online resources aimed at helping you learn what type of protective equipment you need to deal with mold in your home safely. We want to continue answering your questions as your concerns grow. As the water goes up, contact us on Facebook or Twitter, or just email us with 11listens at THV11.com. You can put the subject line as flood zone questions, and we will get you your answers.
If you would like to help with disaster relief efforts, the Arkansas Baptist Disaster Relief Team is offering a one-day training to anyone interested in aiding with relief efforts this weekend. It's happening tomorrow in Conway from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Central Baptist Church, Conway on Dave Ward Drive. The team will help with flood recovery process that will occur over the next several months. To register for this training, head to THV11.com.
As flooding continues to impact Arkansans, you can partner with THV11 and the American Red Cross to help our neighbors throughout the Midwest. This is a chance to experience how we are truly better together. Visit THV11.com/Red Cross or go to the 11 Listens Flood Zone section on our app to make a donation that will help the Red Cross prepare for, respond to, and help people recover.
If you are displaced from your home, you can head to any of these shelters: Evangel Temple in Fort Smith, Dardanelle Community Center, and the Don Owens Center in Conway, which includes a temporary pet shelter, and Family Life Church in Pine Bluff. No ID or proof of residency is required to stay. You are encouraged, though, to bring necessities such as a few days' worth of clothing, bedding, toiletries, and essential medications.
For updated information on river levels and all things flood related, download the THV11 app. Through that app, you can turn on notifications for both weather and breaking news. To find it, just type in THV11 in your phone's app store.
Lance Turner is here with information on changes with Tyson and people buying homes in your Arkansas Business Headlines. Plus,
we're going to check out your current traffic conditions for your Friday morning. We're also going to give you your safe speed locations.
We're also watching climbing temperatures and river levels. We'll have an update on that coming up next.
Good morning, everybody. Raven Richard here. We are in Dardanelle. This is State Highway 7, and what you can see here, only 2 lanes are open, one on this side, one on the other. And what's happening is they have these sandbags up because of the water making its way out into the street, making this potentially dangerous, especially during the nighttime hours if cars cannot see. This is all from the Arkansas River, and back behind us, though, is the Arkansas River, and that is just continuing to make its way on over to the roadway areas. We also going to check out another area just past Centerville. So it's going to be on State Highway 154, where there does seem to be an area of concern that we have been told. So we will check that out as well. But you can just see the conditions. If you do come through this way, you'll probably expect some traffic slowdowns here the next couple of hours, as we did already see some backups from yesterday. So we'll continue to let you know what we're seeing from this area. But for now, it looks like they're just monitoring the situation with these sandbags all lined up. So we'll continue to keep you updated here. We're in Dardanelle. Laura?
Thank you, Raven. We appreciate you. And we're also going to check in with Jordan Howington in a bit. She is in the Toadsuck area. We're just going to take a look. That's where we're seeing the majority of road closures this morning. And I believe Marielle just told me Highway 89 in Faulkner County is closed as of about an hour ago. So we're still getting updated on those conditions. You can too, the Waze app or RDOT as well. So keep in mind those road closures. Highway 89 is the latest one. We have got to look at your safe speed locations. Check out that view heading into Little Rock. Hard to believe there's flooding going on when we have such gorgeous weather. Arkansas State Police will be on Highway 10 and Reservoir Road. Little Rock, Pebble Beach Drive in North Little Rock on Maumelle Boulevard, and in Faulkner County, Easterwood Point Road. And that is where we're going to send out to Jordan Howington. She's live in Toadsuck, where the highway there has been closed, but the water is rising. Jordan?
Hey, Laura, yeah, so we have a different vantage point that we had just a few minutes ago. We are actually on top of the Highway 60 bridge here in Faulkner County. Like you said, it's been closed for several days now because of these floodwaters. If you go ahead, take a look behind me. You see the lock and dam here at Toadsuck underwater, or water topping the dam here today, and those floodwaters continue to rise, and we are already at record flood stage here at Toadsuck and not expected to crest until Sunday. So those waters again continue to rise. A state trooper out here earlier telling us, you know, he's been looking out for this area, keeping people away from this area all night. And he said that he personally has seen this water creep up next to his patrol vehicle. So a very dangerous situation out here. When you go down to the river, one thing that authorities are concerned about is people coming out here taking pictures of this historic flooding. They ask you to not jump over the barricades. Those barricades are there for a reason because of these flood waters. And so they ask people who are, again, coming out here to take pictures to stay away. Now is not a good time. We'll go ahead and send it back to Marielle for a look at weather.
Jordan, thank you. It's crazy to see the numbers, but crazier to see the actual image. So we're doing that with safety, and we're doing that so that you won't go out and do that. So definitely heed that warning. Stay behind the barricades. At Toadsuck, 284 feet at last check. This hit record heights days ago, and it could still climb by a little more. The river is overtopping that dam. I cannot believe that. I've seen most of the dam dry, so it's really interesting to see that and how fast it's flowing, to another sign of how fast this river is moving and how quickly it is changing. Little Rock now at major flood stage as of this morning. Major considered 27 feet. Yesterday it was at a moderate flood stage. It'll still make it to about 29. That's the forecast, and that'll happen on Tuesday. Dardanelle, Morrilton, Toadsuck, all going to reach record heights, if not there already. And major flood stage for Little Rock and in Pine Bluff. Pendleton will see record heights as well at 36 feet, and that will be on June 7th, so still some time to go. Now, I have gotten some questions as to why do areas crest at different times. Well, this is why. The Arkansas River doesn't only stretch across Arkansas. It actually starts in Colorado. And the snowmelt from Colorado, in addition to all of the rain in the watershed, has flowed from upstream to downstream. So you're going to get the influx of water across the western portion of the state first, and then that water slowly starts to drift towards the south, and that's why we're seeing the swelling happening from west to east along the river. And once it gets to the river, it's going to feed into what normally feeds into the Arkansas. So this river, the water's coming downstream, but it's swelling and has nowhere to go. So creeks and rivers are seeing kind of this water now coming out along it. That's why areas like Lake Conway seeing some increase in those river level, in the levels. So just really interesting to see. And another thing that Rolly Hoyt, I believe, pointed out yesterday, that we don't don't know what's all in the floodwater. There are some streams and flooding that's going on near sewage areas, near cow pastures, so it's bringing in all of that debris, not just down the river, but also into our creeks and into our lakes. So that's something else to just consider before you try to step into some of that flood water. The good news is that we're at least seeing some calm weather. It'll be mostly dry this weekend, so we don't have to worry about the rain while some of this is cresting, but the river levels will continue to climb. We did see a lot of moisture here the last few days, especially with that rain a couple of days ago, and some of that has now transitioned into fog. Whenever you get this layer of saturated soil and temperatures cool down, you get this fog development, so it's hard to see in Camden. Visibility down to just about nothing in that area. Today, sunshine overhead, temperature of 86 degrees for the high. We are going to see those temperatures climb over the next several days. Clear skies overhead, but we are seeing a complex of storms in North Texas, not going to make it into the natural state. And the reason it stays dry and warm is because of that high. It's going to really center itself over the southern half of the United States, and well, that's what's bringing us the heat over the next few days as well. The severe weather threat stays well to the north and northwest of us, not just today, but also for Saturday and on Sunday. So the good news is that we do have a few dry days ahead. It'll at least not add to the trouble of that flooding, but we do have to be careful with next week. We have several rounds of rain expected. Not all going to be heavy, but definitely something to be mindful of. Rob?
Mariel, thank you much. It's the 16th year for the Carti Tour de Rock, and there's some new twists to the event. Joining us this morning is Dan Myers, the event chair. Dan, good morning. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning.
Twist, I'm assuming might have something to do with the weather.
Yeah, so with everything going on with weather, we've been making some lemonade out of all these lemons. So 3 of our routes, the 50-mile route, the 62-mile route, and the 100-mile route, we've had to divert one of the roads. So we lost 8 miles, but we gained 5. So it's only a net loss of 3 miles on those 3 routes. The 25-mile route, no loss at all. So that route's intact. But also with the Clinton Bridge closure, the after party is still at Heifer International. The start is still on North Little Rock side at Riverfront Drive. But the Carti Foundation's worked hard yesterday to work with Verizon Arena and US Bank for parking. So feel free to park at Heifer and ride over, or park at US Bank or Verizon and then drive over to Heifer for the after party. So we've really been rallying to get some good positives out of everything going on.
Yeah, 16 years, you got a whole bunch of riders this year. Yes. How many are you expecting?
So we're rallying. We're hoping to get close to 800 here. You can still come to Heifer today and register today. So come on by and register to ride tomorrow.
And this is a ride, not a race. So you don't have to be, Lance Armstrong to be, to go in this race.
Right. So with the 25-mile route, it's even for the entry-level novice rider to go out and stroll, but up to the 100-mile route for the guys that want to really challenge themselves.
And this is for a great cause. Talk about what this does for Carti.
Yeah, so this is for the Carti. It's for their Patient Relief Fund. The Patient Relief Fund is a great fund for all the patients of Carti. It's a fund that pays for all the incidentals. So we're talking gas cards to help patients get to and from therapy, hotel stays if they need to stay here in Little Rock if they live out of town, therapies, massage therapy, family therapy for even the families, parent center for folks that need help with wigs and different things. So there's a whole bunch of things that just you don't think about that insurance doesn't cover. People are already stressed with battling cancer, so it just helps ease some of those other burdens that they have to deal with.
Something that you learned about 20 years ago when you dealt with this, but you've been in remission for almost that entire time.
Yeah, so luckily my story, I dealt with a lot of those and I didn't have this fund. So with the start of this fund, it hits really near and dear to me because I didn't have this fund to help me out. So it's a really good thing to help patients.
So they can go to Heifer today and sign up?
Yep, go to Heifer today in person, come see us, come sign up, get you all hooked up and ready to roll.
We appreciate it. Thank you much. We're back in 2 minutes.
6:24 now, and this map looking a little different from yesterday with Dardanelle, Morrilton, Tootsuck all reaching record heights. Little Rock now considered major flood stage at 27 feet. It's still expected to climb another 2 feet in the next 4 to 5 days. Expected to crest on Tuesday at 29 feet. Pine Bluff at major flood stage, Pendleton on the way there. with a forecast of 36 feet. That would be a new record. The good news is that at least it is off to a mild, I would even call it cooler start today. 61 degrees in Little Rock, Pine Bluff, 60 in Hot Springs, 58 in Arkadelphia, about 62 in Searcy, with less humidity this morning. We'll also be dealing with less wind. Temperatures make it all the way to the mid-80s, about 86 degrees expected closer towards 4 this afternoon with sunshine all day long. That sunshine does continue over the weekend. Here are your things to know. Besides the river flood warnings, those river levels still rising, of course. You want to stay away from any flood water. Of course, you don't know if any animals or anything else is in it. Other things to know, calm weather expected today, tomorrow, most of Sunday. The rain does return by Monday. Lance.
All right, thanks a lot, Marielle. Now look at your Arkansas. Tyson Foods Incorporated of Springdale creating a new C-level post, Chief Marketing Officer. The meat producer on Thursday announced that Noelle O'Mara would fill the newly created role. O'Mara joined Tyson in April 2016 as Vice President of New Business Models. She most recently oversaw 2 of the company's billion-dollar brands, Jimmy Dean and Tyson. In her new post, O'Mara is responsible for innovation and brand building across the company to support growth. She will report directly to President and CEO Noel White. Well, fewer Americans signed contracts to buy homes in April compared with the prior month. That's according to the latest report from the National Association of Realtors. The group said pending sales declined 2% over the past year. The report suggests that rising home prices have outweighed recent declines in mortgage rates. The 30-year rate even fell below 4% this week. In all, home prices have risen faster than incomes in 78% of U.S. areas since 2012. And finally, Governor Asa Hutchinson and other officials on Thursday toured the newly renovated Tianwan Garments facility in Little Rock. During the tour, the company announced that it will increase its initial $20 million investment by another $10 million. The company also said that it employs 160 people right now and is on track to hire 400 full-time workers in all. The governor announced the plant back in October 2016 during an economic trade mission to China. Now open at the Port of Little Rock, the plant produces sportswear for Adidas and other brands. At peak production, it aims to make more than 4 million garments per year. We'll have more on this story and others at arkansasbusiness.com and THV11.com.
Communities across central Arkansas are bracing for the incoming floodwaters.
We have team coverage this morning. Marielle Ruiz keeping an eye on river levels for us. Jordan Howington in Toad Suck keeping an eye on the water there.
And Raven Richard is in Dardanelle where a levee breached early this morning. We're going to start with Raven. What's the very latest?
Hey, good morning. So we are actually on our way. We're probably about 2 minutes away from it, but we just pulled over here for a second just to let you guys know where we are on our way to. So where we just left, we were in Dardanelle on Highway 7, and they had sandbags along the road. So they actually told us another way we can get to this. So we're on Highway 124 right now, headed down towards where that levee breach is. So we'll give you the latest updates as we do reach that point.
Hey guys, yeah, we're out here at Toad Suck on Highway 60 bridge. We're getting a very close look at these floodwaters at the river, actually. Go ahead and take a look what we're looking at. This is probably as close as we're going to get. These floodwaters continue to rise, expected to reach another foot by Sunday, which that is when the river is expected to crest. I'll just take a look at this water. It's rapidly moving along the river, very dangerous currents. Now, this is why police have put barricades out along the river. Many people coming out here, jumping those barricades to get a close look at this historic flooding. Those barricades are out there for a reason, you guys, to keep you safe. These waters are moving rapidly, so be careful. Take heed to all of these warnings and stay away from the river. We'll go ahead and send it back to you guys.
Stay off the water as well.
Yeah, powerful images from Toad Suck. You see how fast the water is rushing there. I mean, you don't want to be anywhere near that. I remember you said, Marielle, you put 1 foot in, anything, you could just be taken away.
And the debris too could just knock you unconscious instantly.
Yeah, the debris, the displacement of animals, there's just so much that goes into flood concern. On top of it, being just dangerous to be next to. That's why those closures are in place. That's why there are barricades. Do not go around those barricades. Unfortunately, near Fort Smith, we already did see that this flooding has caused a death. So definitely want to be careful with this. You want to take those precautions. And I know the Arkansans are prepped for this. We've been preparing for the past week and a half since we started talking about this. And where Jordan was, that is a record for that area. So along the Arkansas River, these are locations going from west to southeast. At Dardanelle, Morrilton, and Toadsuck, all record-breaking levels. Could still climb about a few inches, close to a foot in some locations. It kind of just depends on where you're at, but is expected to crest on Sunday. So this could still get a little worse before it starts to get better. Little Rock now at major flood stage as of this morning, reaching over 27 feet, 27 considered major flood stage. It will still climb another 2 feet. At least that's what the forecast calls for. Not record breaking, but still significant, that is for sure. At Pine Bluff, major flood stage, close to 48 feet. It'll make it to 51 as we approach early parts of next week. Pendleton also expected to reach major flood stage by June the 7th. So this is far from over, especially when we're talking about so much water making its way down the Arkansas. We are going to see that the water crest, but then it still has to go back down to its normal level. That's going to take a few weeks, and then cleanup efforts after that. We are not out of it even after it crests. This will be ongoing. That's why these river flood warnings that the National Weather Service puts on, normally we say they expire at a certain point. These are just ongoing for now. So we'll talk a little bit more about what you can expect the rest of the weekend coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Marielle. Meanwhile, federal emergency aid is on its way to people impacted by the historic Arkansas River flooding. President Trump signed an emergency declaration yesterday after speaking with Governor Asa Hutchinson and other Arkansas lawmakers this week. The declaration allows FEMA to coordinate all disaster relief efforts in hopes of reducing the impact of the flooding. You can read the full declaration right now on THV11.com.
As we heard from Raven, flooding is already a problem for people in Dardanelle, and the river is not expected to crest in that area until Sunday. That's why the Arkansas National Guard has a team on standby to help homeowners prepare for the flood. Guardsmen tell us part of those flooding preparations include making sure there's an evacuation plan in order. They actually drive around the community to make sure there are no blocked roadways so they can get people to safety. And if you do live in an area that floods easily, city officials say leave now before the water gets to your house. In Faulkner County, floodwaters that rushed into parts of Mayflower at the start of the week have reached levees about a mile from the riverbank. Now business and homeowners are trying to come up with a plan of action. And there are a few roads in the area that are now closed because of the rising water. Easterwood Point Road is cut off from Highway 89. The road to Lolly past Mayflower is also now closed. While the river won't reach record levels in Little Rock, major flooding is still expected. Right now, River Mountain Drive and Rebsman Park Road are closed because of flooding. And this morning, work on the levee will close Riverfront Drive from Cottondale Drive to Rebsman Park Road. Mayor Frank Scott Jr. urging people to stay informed and prepared ahead of next week's crest.
We want to stress that safety is a top priority for the city, and we want to be proactive in the event that things get worse.
Later today, the Little Rock Public Works Department will be distributing sandbags at its facility on J.E. Davis Drive from 6:30 until 4. People can also fill their bags 24 hours a day at War Memorial Park.
Arkansas farmers are growing increasingly concerned as the river continues to rise. THV11's Melissa Zigwitz shows us how they're hoping for the best, but preparing for the worst.
That is all farmland, as far as you can see.
To say Dow Dollar is concerned about floodwaters is an understatement.
Way past very concerned.
His farm in Atkins sits just over the Arkansas River levee.
This is backwater from the Arkansas River,
where water is already 7 feet deep and creeping higher.
Problem is, if this water finds one weak spot, one gopher hole could cause 5,000 acres more here to flood.
Dollar says crews are patrolling the levee to find weak spots.
Levee patrol, as we call it. We think we have maybe 2 feet of play before the water goes over the levee.
Right now, we're just holding strong and we're praying that the levee doesn't break.
Ashley Enos works for Ralston Family Farms just down the road. She says the entire community has worked to prepare for the worst.
The community has worked on the levee and we've sandbagged, we've moved our cattle, we've moved our equipment.
If you look to the other side of the levee, you can see farm ground out here. You can see corn growing.
Dollar says this is the most anxious he's ever been.
2015, we had a flood. This flood, the water will be 3 feet deeper.
Because if the water gets any higher, it means trouble for the entire farming community in Atkins.
There's a lot of variables. There's so many variables right now. We don't know for sure what's going to happen.
This is what we do for a living. This land matters to us. We're on it every day, and if the levee doesn't hold, then we're all in trouble.
Roads near the Arkansas River levee have also been blocked off, and farmers ask that you not go around those barricades and drive over the levee because that could weaken it even more.
And as the floodwaters continue to rise, the homeless community that usually camp along the river are turning to the Little Rock Compassion Center. Now the shelter is turning to you for help.
Yeah, Pastor William Holloway says the center is seeing a surge in the number of people coming in for meals. That means the need for food and hygiene items is much greater than usual this time of year.
They're looking for monetary donations as well as food items and things like shampoo, soap, and toothpaste. You can find a full list on THV11.com and drop off all donations to the Compassion Center.
If you would like to help with disaster relief efforts, the Arkansas Baptist Disaster Relief Team is offering a one-day training to anyone interested in aiding with relief efforts this weekend. It is happening tomorrow in Conway from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Central Baptist Church Conway on Dave Ward Drive.
The team will help with the flood recovery process that will occur over the next several months. To register for the training, head on over to THV11.com.
And if you're looking for ways to help those impacted by this historic event, we want you to join THV11 and the American Red Cross.
All you have to do is visit THV11.com/Red Cross or go to the 11 Listens Flood Zone section of our app. Make a donation that will help Red Cross prepare for, respond to, and help people recover.
And of course, we're watching those river levels as they climb. We're talking about what the difference is this morning from yesterday and what our forecast is going to do to impact the levels coming up next.
Good morning, guys. We're on 154 and 155, that intersection, letting you know this road is closed and what's going on back behind us.
As the impact of this historic flooding continues to be felt, the team here at THV11 continues to keep you updated. So stay with us online across all our social media channels and, of course, right here on THV11.
Good morning, Raven Richard here. We are at the intersection of Highway 154 and 155, just about 4 miles away from Centerville. But back behind me, this roadway is closed. Now, we were on the other side of this earlier on 155. We saw the road. We ran into a lot of water towards that way. But this is blocked off because of a levee breach. Now, we do have something from the mayor. This is what he posted on his Facebook page. Good morning. We have a levee breach in the lower upper bottoms. What this means for Dardanelle is that we'll be preparing for a possible flooding situation coming from the bayou side, and we will need both sandbagging operations going on today. And he also asked people not to panic. We have time to prepare for this. It will not be coming into our area for quite a while. Highway 7 bridges open and traffic is flowing at a good pace. They'll continue to have those updates soon. And we were also on Highway 7 just a little bit earlier, and you did see there was only one lane on each side that was open. That's due to the water on the side of the roadway. And now they did have sandbags up over there. So we'll continue to watch this situation, as it is expected to get worse. Like I said, that levee breach did happen. So once again, we are near the intersection of 154 and 155. We'll continue to keep you updated. Marielle?
Raven, we appreciate you being out there, keeping an eye on the road conditions over there near the levee breach, something that I know a lot of people were worried about yesterday, but luckily officials did evacuate a lot of that area, or the area of highest concern, yesterday. So thankful for that, and thankful for all the preparedness that really has gone on for the river flooding. Whenever we look at these levels, it's interesting to see these numbers because they're all going to reach major flood stage, meaning major impacts along the banks. but we're also breaking records, things that we haven't seen, numbers we've never seen along the Arkansas as far as records have been kept. Dardanelle close to 46 feet, Morrilton at over 42, Toadsuck at a record 284, still could climb another foot. We saw that water is now over the levee there. So just so interesting to see that and how fast it's rushing and how fast it is moving downstream. But still, this is going to be a long-lived event. Little Rock, as of this morning, reaching a major flood stage. Pine Bluff as well. Pendleton still at moderate. And whenever we look at the Arkansas River, it not only goes through Arkansas, of course, it goes through Oklahoma, which was one of the biggest problem areas that we saw early in the month. That's why water had to move downstream into the state. But what we're also seeing is that the snow melt is making its way towards the south as well. So all of that water that fell in the plains just continues to make its way downstream. I did have a question asking, why do these areas crest at different times? Well, it's because that's the direction the water's coming in from. The water's coming and moving from west to the southeast downstream. So these areas are going to see the higher levels first, and then the higher levels move towards downstream. And not only that, but once they make it towards downstream, some of these areas, the rivers, the creeks that are impacted by this are going to see the water almost flow opposite direction. I've gotten questions about that too. It's called backwater flooding. So whenever the rain or the water makes its way down the stream, it is going to be stuck. It has nowhere to go. So the only option is to take those rivers and those creeks, those streams that feed into the Arkansas, and then it'll go the opposite direction. That's why we're seeing a lot of areas along those creeks flooding here over the last several days. Not only that, but also areas like Lake Conway, Fish Creek. A lot of people have been telling me that it's flowing backwards, it looks like. Yes, that can absolutely happen. These river flood warnings that the National Weather Service has put on, they go until further notice. There is no definitive end to this river flood, but we do think that it is going to go back down to normal levels by the end of June. The good news, though, is that today is going to be a calm day in the weather world. We are actually going to start off a bit drier. It's less humid out there. Temperatures to start in the low 60s. I'd almost even call it on the cool side. And what we're going to see is that high pressure, really just control of our weather the next couple of days. It's going to help bring in that north wind. That means slightly drier air continues to filter in across the state. That does keep severe weather away from us as well. Most of it will stay across areas of the plains throughout the weekend. So we're looking at dry and warm conditions here for Saturday and for Sunday. Temperatures at about 90 degrees over the weekend. And like I mentioned, the threat for severe weather staying away from us at least in the next 3 days. The threat for rain, however, does return as we approach Sunday and Monday. What that means for our river flooding is really not a whole lot. I'm not expecting the rain that we see next week to impact our levels, but any downpours that we see at this point, especially along riverbanks, are going to cause flash flooding issues. So next week, one of those weeks that we have to be on alert just about every day, because at any point, any strong storm can bring that potential for additional flooding, just not changing actual river levels. Now, one of the most impressive areas that we've seen with this flooding is Toadsuck, where the water is just flowing right over that area, right over the dam. So Jordan Howington out live for us this morning at Toadsuck with another update. Jordan?
Yeah, Marielle. So actually we drove over the Highway 60 bridge. We have a different look now. Look behind us. This is a home halfway, I'd say, about underwater. A lot going on over this side of the bridge. We're now in the Pope County area. Water flowing into this part of town. You could see a gas station over here. This is a heartbreaking situation, the Toadsuck One Stop. You can see along the edge of the gas station where the owners have desperately tried to save their property, but that water continuing to rise up over the levee, or not the levee, excuse me, over the sandbagging operation that they've had going on here. You would think we are on the river, but this is not the river. I mean, this is how bad these floodwaters really are. So we're talking lots of water. Like you said, Marielle, not expected to crest until Sunday here at Toadsuck. And water expected to rise another foot. One thing we would like to mention very quickly, stay out of these floodwaters. All kinds of debris. Some of authorities have told me they've even found used syringes kind of wash ashore here, so stay out of it. Not safe to get in. And also stay away from the Toadsuck area. If you're wanting to come out, take pictures, do not do it. The rapid floodwaters are very dangerous. We've seen some kids out here with their parents. Not a good idea, so stay away, stay far away from the barricades. They're up for a reason. We'll go ahead and send it back to you guys.
Thank you, Jordan. Some powerful images coming out of Toadsuck, and that is where we see a bunch of the closures, the road closures right now. I do want to point out a little slowdown on Skyline Drive headed towards the interstate. Doesn't look like there's an accident right now, but traffic is going a little bit slower than normal. Also, we have a report this morning from RDOT that a portion of Highway 89 in Faulkner County is shut down this morning. That is due to flood concerns as well. So just make sure we have an updated list on THV11.com where you can check on the road closures, and those will be coming in more over the coming days. We got to look at your safe speed locations. This morning, Arkansas State Police will be on Highway 10 and Reservoir Road. In Little Rock on Pebble Beach Drive in North Little Rock, police will be on Maumelle Boulevard. And in Faulkner County, deputies will be on Easterwood Point Road. We are getting a look at your forecast too. Hopefully we have a beautiful weekend in store, but the flooding is still going to be a concern.
Well, in other news, another cultivation center is ready to provide medical marijuana to dispensaries here in Arkansas. Natural State Medicinal's Cultivation's first round of marijuana hit shelves at Doctor's Orders RX in Hot Springs today. Now, that product was manufactured at NSM's facility in Whitehall. Right now, the Cultivation Center has 9 strains of the drug available, and say more than 20 different types will be ready for delivery in the coming weeks. And 4 more applications have been submitted to operate casinos here in Arkansas. The state received applications for a Pope County casino from the Cherokee Nation, Tri-Peaks Entertainment Group LLC, and the Choctaw Nation. The state has also received an application from Gulfside Casino Partnership to build in the area, but none of them have had included letters of support from current local leaders in Pope County, which are necessary. Only one application has been submitted for Jefferson County. It's from the Downstream Development Authority. The Racing Commission will look over the applications June 13th. And we're back after this.
Before we send things to Marielle, we want to continue our team coverage this morning.
Jordan Howington is in Toadsuck. We're going to begin, though, with Raven Richard, who is in Yell County this morning. Raven?
Yeah, good morning. We're on the intersection of 154 and 155, and back behind me the road is closed. So we were actually on the other side, and we saw the road was full of water. There is a levee breach, actually, and so this is definitely a situation. The mayor here will be watching. The county will be watching as well. We'll continue to have more updates on this throughout the day.
Yeah, Raven, so we're out here, Highway 60 bridge closed down for days because of these flood waters. We're seeing on the other side of the bridge what is here and why this bridge is closed. The road completely underwater. You see over here on the other side of me, this Toadsuck One Stop, a very popular gas station in town, underwater. The owners of that gas station have desperately tried to save it. You see the trash out here on the roadway. Stay out of the water, very unsafe. Back to you guys.
Yeah, that's great advice. Actually was there for Discover Arkansas with Adam not too long ago, and we stopped at that very same gas station. Difficult to see just the damage this river has already caused. What we are going to see is already seeing record-breaking heights at Dardanelle, Morrilton, and Toadsuck, where Jordan was just at. You just saw that. Little Rock still expected to climb another 2 feet by the end of this on Tuesday is when we're expecting that. So definitely want to continue to watch this, but the silver lining is that we do have a beautiful weekend in store. At least we'll see the sunshine today, tomorrow, and most of Sunday with high temperatures nearing 90 degrees.
Got to end up on a positive note. Happy birthday, 30th birthday to Laura Monteverdi tomorrow.
Woo-hoo. Yeah, so thank you to Steve Rollins. He gave everyone a cake for their birthday today. This says, happy birthday, Laura, dripping in gold, as I normally do.
Dripping.
And he had to just put the 30 on there. So thank you so much, Steve and Blue Cake Company, for this beautiful cake. And which everyone in the newsroom will destroy shortly.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. Stay safe this weekend.
Check us out online, THV11.com.